Today is the second day of the Saudi-led operation against the Houthis and the Ali Saleh forces in Yemen. How did we get to this point? How did we get from a popular uprising, from a revolution, to dialogue, to war? In short, it's failed policy. The longer version of that is the GCC initiative that protected a war criminal, who is Ali Saleh, and kept his resources intact, kept his connections intact, and gave him logistical support, is what led to this. Not that no one has mentioned. I, like so many people, met a lot of European and US and Arab policymakers, and we have warned everyone against Saleh's desire for revenge after he moves out. There was no way that he could just call it a quit and go home. The country has been under his rule for 33 years. There has been no way that he would have just called it a quit. But it's the Middle East, so it's okay for international policymakers to go there and say, yeah, common sense is not required here. We can let a war criminal on the loose and expect nothing to happen, although he has practically his own army gang that we have built intact, and his money, and nothing is going to happen. Of course. Now, everything that we've been warning about has came to happen, with a high cost, with a super high cost in life, in property, in time. Yemen is not on the brink of collapse. Yemen has collapsed, and this has been the case for a while now. Yemen is not on the brink of civil war. Yemen has been in civil war for the good part of the last decade. Yemen has been in the middle of 3 wars for the good part of the 2000s and their onwards. If you forget, I remind you, one war against the Houthis, which actually had 6 rounds. Another one was against Al-Qaeda. The third one is against the Southern Movement. And when I say war, I'm actually referring to any use of heavy artillery. If that's not war, then someone please enlighten me. Where to go from this point? First off, dealing with Ali Saleh for the war criminal he is, not only throughout UN resolutions, but in action too. He has to be indicted. Second, the reinstate of common sense when it comes to policy making about the Middle East. Accountability, justice. Ideas like these are not unapplicable in the Middle East. Trust me, they do. We are as human as everyone else. The third is the review of the international dealing with Yemen at this point. The United Nations has been involved on some sort of legitimizing a coup of a militant, somewhat a terrorist group, whatever terrorist means anyways, but to me they are. This policy has to be reviewed and looked at, and people behind it has to be asked and put accountable. I am your local Yemen policy analyst. If you have any questions, send me in the comments or through IC Hamza on Twitter.